Imagine waking up every day and heading into a war zone where the only weapon being used against you is shame. For the kid who was bullied, that wasn't a movie, it was Tuesday. But what happens when that kid grows up and the lockers are finally closed? Does the pain just evaporate, or does the brain rewrite its entire script to survive the aftermath? Today, we're going inside the mind of the survivor to see how a bruised past creates a breathtakingly powerful future. Stick with me, because to understand the adult, we have to look at the body's security system.
You see, when someone is picked on day after day, their brain starts to live in a state of high alert. It's like a house where the security alarm is constantly ringing, even when the doors are locked and the neighborhood is silent. Inside the head, there's a tiny part that acts like a lookout. For a bullied child, this lookout becomes an Olympic-level expert. It learns to read the tiniest shifts in the room, the way a door slams, a sudden change in someone's tone, or even a heavy sigh. But wait, here is where it gets interesting. Even decades later, when the bullies are long gone and life is objectively safe, that lookout stays on the clock. This is why some adults are people pleasers or hyper-aware of everyone's mood. Their brain isn't being sensitive. It's just still trying to protect them from a threat it remembers from the 5th grade. It's a survival skill that simply never learned how to retire. But hold on, because this constant state of alert does something to the way a person talks to themselves. And get this, it changes the very inner voice they hear every single morning. Imagine someone following you around all day, whispering every doubt you've ever had about yourself. For the kid who was bullied, that's often what their internal dialogue feels like. When a child is told they aren't enough, or that they're weird or disposable, the brain does something tragic. It starts to believe the noise just to make sense of the world. It's a way of saying, if they're treating me this way, there must be a reason. It's a heartbreaking logic, but it's the brain's way of trying to find order in cruelty. As an adult, that person might struggle to take a compliment. When someone says, "Great job," the old echo in the brain whispers, "Do they really mean it? Or are they setting me up?" It's like trying to walk forward while someone is constantly tugging at your shadow. But wait, here is where it gets really powerful. While that shadow is heavy, something miraculous is happening underneath it, a transformation that turns that old pain into a secret weapon. You'd think that someone who was treated coldly would grow up to be cold themselves. But get this, it's often the exact opposite. Because that kid knew what it felt like to be the other, their brain developed a superpower: empathy. They can walk into a room and instantly spot the person who feels left out. They know the weight of a lonely lunch hour, so they're the ones who reach out. Their brain has been softened by the fire. They don't just understand pain, they feel it for others. This is why some of the most compassionate doctors, teachers, and friends you'll ever meet were once the kids who had no one to sit with. Their brain repurposed its own hurt to become a map for helping others. But wait, there is a catch to this superpower. This high level of caring can lead to a very specific kind of exhaustion. Now, stick with me here, because understanding this next part explains why survivors often feel like they're carrying the weight of the world. As that kid enters adulthood, you might notice they have a very specific way of handling their environment. Maybe they're a perfectionist, maybe their house is incredibly tidy, or they have a hard time letting people get truly close. This isn't just a personality trait, it's the brain seeking the safety it never had. When you're bullied, your world feels out of control. You can't control the insults, the laughter, or the exclusion. So as an adult, the brain overcompensates. It thinks, if I can make everything perfect, if I can control every variable, then no one can hurt me again. It's a suit of armor made of excellence. But get this. While that armor is shiny, it's also very heavy. The brain is tired of being perfect. It's tired of waiting for the other shoe to drop. But don't look away yet, because we're getting to the part that changes everything. The moment the survivor realizes they aren't broken, they're actually fortified. There's a beautiful concept called post-traumatic growth. It's the idea that people don't just get over hard things. They are changed by them in ways that make them deeper, wiser, and more resilient. The kid who was bullied often grows up with a BS detector that is second to none. They value authenticity because they know how much fake kindness hurts. They are often the most loyal friends you will ever have because they know the true value of a safe harbor. Their brain has survived a storm, and because of that, it knows how to build a lighthouse. But wait, here is the real kicker. That kid who wanted to be invisible, they often grow up to be the most visible advocates for others. They become the voice for the voiceless because they know exactly what the silence feels like. If you were that kid, I want you to look at me for a second. Your brain did exactly what it was supposed to do. It kept you alive. It built walls to protect your heart. And it tuned your ears to the frequency of safety. You aren't damaged goods. You are a survivor who has been upgraded by fire. The hyper-awareness that feels like a burden is actually a testament to your strength. The empathy that feels like a weight is actually your greatest gift to the world. And get this, the story doesn't end with the bullying. It ends with the person you became because you refused to let that bullying be the final word. Stick with me as we wrap this up, because the final score isn't what you think it is.
So what happens to the kid who is bullied? They don't just grow up. They evolve. They carry a bit of the shadow, yes, but they also carry a light that is much brighter than those who have never known the dark. They are the ones who change the world with kindness, because they know the world can be unkind. They are the ones who build communities where everyone is welcome, because they remember the sting of being left out. They are, quite simply, some of the strongest people on this planet. And as your friend Cortex, I think that's a legacy worth being incredibly proud of. If you enjoyed our little deep dive, it would mean the world to me if you'd subscribe. It's like a digital high five for all my research, and don't forget to click the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. While I go brew some tea, why not peek at these other videos? I put a lot of love into them. Stay curious, my friend. I'll see you in the next episode.